Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're gathered to do 1978 top 50 songs. Here with Randall Nelson, Brian Massey's Entertainment, and Doc, the usual foursome, where we rank our favorite songs of that particular year, have a formula of ranking them with a point scale and so forth, and do a consensus at the end. If you've seen our videos, you know how it works. Tonight's order is going to be Brian, Doc, Randy, and myself. And I kind of know where this is headed because I have to tabulate it. But the other guy, I always like to see where the reaction to everybody's face here when the certain songs pop up, and on multiple lists or solo lists. We like to rib each other on who has the most solos each year too. And we have a different outcome this time than the last three or four. So see what happens. 1978, guys, we're winding our way to the end of the 70s. Different style of music with the new wave and the punk and the end of disco. We're just still a little bit floating around. And, of course, some of the classic rock influence. So this is prior to MTV, when everything goes to a different level, I guess, or different flashy kind of mainstream pop direction, but a little bit of everything in here, kind of mishmash of the late 70s. And we're going to do one more 1979, take a little break, do some movie stuff for those out there interested, and then we'll come back and do some 80s down the road. So tonight's order again: Brian, Doc, Randy, myself. Brian, if you want to kick it off, let me pull up our screen and we will show your list. And just give me 1 second, and I'll splice this together. Boom. All righty. We should be rocking and rolling. Let's see what you got. Go ahead.
Number 10, I had "Still the Same" from Bob Seger. This song kind of like stuck in my head again when I started watching Ozark, and they've got the kid at the bar that kept playing the same song on the jukebox over and over again. Just classic. Love the song though, so I wanted to put it here. "Good Times Roll" by the Cars. That's going to come off of their great album that year. Patti Smith again, I've got "Because of the Night." A song that's been covered by 10,000 Maniacs and a couple other bands later on, but a great song. One of two Stone songs on here, I've got "Miss You" here at number 7 from Some Girls. Really kind of an underrated album for them. Kind of gets lost because they've had so many great albums leading up to that. But it's a really strong album, in my opinion. Got to have some Elvis Costello at number 6, "Pump It Up." I think this was a song he did on SNL just before he kind of like went into a whole different kind of riff. "September" by Earth, Wind and Fire. I'm a big Earth, Wind and Fire fan. They have a lot of influence on some of the 80s people who were doing their pop synth stuff. Like Phil Collins is a big fan of Earth, Wind and Fire. Sniffing the Tears, "Driver's Seat," kind of one of those one-hit wonders, from the 70s. My wife absolutely loves this song. It's really cool cruising song. "Sultans of Swing," again, if you don't recognize Mark Knopfler's guitar by this point, you're in some serious hurting. You don't listen to music. It's great. And then I have "Renegade" from Styx, which has got this really, low key intro. And then this song just ramps up and it gets, basically kicks ass the rest of the way. So, but my number 1 song was "Beast of Burden" from the Rolling Stones. Just kind of a nice mixture of, blues rock and, I don't know, kind of a traditional soul in a lot of ways. It just had a whole different feel than a lot of other Stone songs leading up to that. And I just thought it deserved a little bit of extra credit. So "Beast of Burden" was my number 1.
Very good. Some big time songs in there for sure. For 1978. The one that surprised me a little, because it doesn't seem like your speed, is "Driver's Seat," but I like the song myself. It's a catchy little thing, and it's a good cruising type song, like you said. So I'm glad it's on your list. Very nice.
Yeah, cool.
Let's see the next 10.
Let's see that 10 on the next.
Let's see the 10 that's sort of finished runner up 11 through 10.
I mean, I like this one. It's a deeper cut from Dire Straits at 20 down the waterline. And, you know, I wish people would run their catalog and understand that they were much more than the stuff that was on Brothers in Arms. Again, another Cars song, just what I needed. I probably could have picked 2 more Cars songs and I would have been totally legit. Werewolves of London, Zevon, Heart of Glass, you know, Blondie, who, you know, basically is the queen of, you know, early punk in a lot of ways. So great stuff there. I think one of our people who've been watching our videos kept making comments that they're surprised I didn't have enough punk. So there's the Ramones. Somebody's happy now. I want to be sedated here. Doc should be happy. I got Jamie's Crying by Van Halen. I know that he's a big fan of Van Halen 1. Double Vision from Foreigner. And I Need to Know. That's my favorite track off of that Tom Petty album. And Stardust is an album that I've become acquainted with in the last year from Willie Nelson. This is the title track from there. I really like that. I just listened to his Phases and Stages album as well, which is also very good. That was from 1974. And then 11 just didn't make it was Follow You, Follow Me by Genesis. It's kind of them just barely hanging on to that little bit of progressiveness, but at the same time, you could see they were heading in a more poppy direction with this particular album and this particular song, I think. So I just missed out on the top 10. So
very good.
Very good list.
Yeah, personally, I like the Phil Collins era of Genesis. I know it's not fashionable, but I kind of prefer it. Although I like some of Gabriel's solo stuff. Very cool to see Petty and Foreigner and Blondie and Warren Zevon, Cars, of course. Great list. Awesome stuff.
It's great list. Sure it is. Yeah, I like the Van Halen in there. You'll see what I mean.
All right. Doc, your turn,
Yeah,
man.
Doc.
Let's see what you got.
There you go. My number 10. I got Don't Look Back from Boston. I think it's the staple of the follow-up from the Monster on the second album here. So it's still an awesome rock song from Boston. It still has that Boston one feel to me too. So it's a kicker, man. I got Roller from April Wine at number 9. So what can I tell you? I'm a Canadian boy. I grew up with this stuff, man, and it's stuck with me, and it's still there. So it's a rock tune, man. If you don't know the song, go listen to it. You might like it. That's what I can tell you. But it reeks of a 70s rock song is what it does, and it's really good. So my number 8, I got Surrender by Cheap Trick. It's my favorite Cheap Trick tune. See them a couple of times live, man. They're excellent. But this song is I remember listening to this when I was at this age, man. So that tells you I've had this my whole life as well. So thanks to my older brother. There's the Werewolves of London by Warren there. You had it, I think, maybe in your top 20, I think, anyway, Brian.
Yeah.
But yes. Yeah. But yeah, one my wife hates, but God knows I love it. So I just crank it. Go figure. So I follow up that with The Who. Who Are You? A little bit of an underrated album from The Who. It doesn't get talked about a lot. I think some really good songs on this album, man. And you'll see that on my list as we go. So, but the title track is classic Who, classic Keith, classic. Yeah, the band's hitting here, man. Who Are You is a classic rock song from '78.
Yep.
You're right about Sultan's there. There you are. I agree wholeheartedly. It's Straits' best, probably, and it's got that Knopfler sound, and it's there's a tune for you, man, from '78. That's for sure. I also agree with the Renegade there. So, yeah, that build up there from that little storytelling to just the drop and then it goes, man. Renegade is really that Hangman's waiting, man. What can I tell you? So, Renegade's a great tune, man. Probably maybe their heaviest tune from Styx too, if I get down to it. Maybe that
I would think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that Cars album, man. This is my second favorite Cars tune, and it's right there with me, man. Bye Bye Love is that's my favorite song on this album. And but like you said, Brian, we could have like 7 different songs show up here on this whole list between the 4 of us. So that's just mine. Here's my favorite Seeger tune at number 2, man. Hollywood Nights.
Wow.
Yeah, well, I know the minority there, but it just edges. What can I tell you, man? It just edges Night. That's all I can tell you. But Hollywood Nights is just a little bit more my speed. I'll put it at that. It's just a little faster, a little bit more rocky for me, and that's kind of more my wheelhouse in some senses if I've listened to Seeger. So, but when he kicks on the other stuff, don't get me wrong, it's fantastic, and you'll see that on my list as well. There's the Van Halen debut, man. You want to talk about making an entry into rock and roll here? Running with the Devil's a freaking rock song, man. That's what that is. Yeah, this album just kicks. Ryan, I'm happy I had Jamie in there, man. There's a whole bunch that could be on this list, man. This first album smokes, and I don't think Eddie gets a lot of credit. Not credit. Of course he gets credit, but this guy changed the way music gets played, man, from 78 on. A lot of people looking at how a guitar player does things, man. So, Running with the Devil. Definitely my tune from 78, man.
Doc, you're going to leave this video tonight, and you're going to go right into the living room, and you're going to start howling like a werewolf just to tick off your wife.
She'll be on time now.
I like the different Seeger songs. We had Still the Same. Now we have Hollywood Nights. We've had 3 different car songs: Bye Bye Love from Doc, Just What I Needed, and Good Times Roll from Brian. So a lot of variety there. And there might be some more to come with those car songs.
You never know, eh, Rich? You never know.
You never know. All right, let's go down to the 11 to 20, which is exciting. Let's see that. Go ahead, Doug.
My number 20, La Villa Strangiato from Rush. It's a musical, and it's
good.
I don't know. This is just a talent show off, man. That's all I can tell you. If you go down the road of liking progressive Rush in the 70s into the early 80s and stuff like this, and if you're a fan of this, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you don't like it, you don't like it. I get it. To me, it's right in my wheelhouse, just on a groove and everything else, and it's a talent show for me, man. This is peak stuff. Still the same. There's Seeger. So you might have that one, Brian, I think.
Yes, I did. Number 10. Yes.
You're right, man. There's lots of Seeger out there, man. So this is there you go. Well, it drops it down. I still like my Seeger, man. So it's a great tune. Hot Blooded by Foreigner. Early Foreigner for me, man. I love, his voice and everything else. So there's a couple that could come off up here again. So Jukebox. There's a whole bunch. So, but yeah, Hot Blooded is just going to crack my top 20 is where I would put it here. That's a Foreigner, man, big in the 70s here, just kicking late here. That's what I can tell you. Still got my soft spot for Billy, man. My life I'm taking with me at 17. I'd say just a classic Billy Joel song. That's what I'd put it at. Just when I need it. The Cars. Yeah, I really like that album, man. So,
Yeah.
Not much needs to be said about the Cars' debut album here, man. It's kind of hit after hit. So, I'm going to follow that up with Straight On from Heart. What a groovy, catchy tune, man. Heart making an appearance for me is good. They got a lot of good songs, so I'm happy I got them into at least my top 20 here on some of these lists. This is, I think, well deserved, and yeah, this is a catchy rock song from the girls here, man. This is a great tune. There's that Ramones again, Brian. There you go. Maybe sedate it. I agree, man. It's catchy. What can I tell you? I think we talked about this a long time ago, man. I'm not a Ramones dude. This is a great tune. That's what I can tell you. So, if this was your list, your playlist, you wouldn't be upset. Another one that I've had the whole time, man. Life's been good. I just love that too. What can I tell you? It's listen, this is not a musical masterpiece or anything else like that. It's a catchy tune. It's Joe Walsh, and it's a catchy riff, and I just like the song. So that's why it's in my top 20, man. It makes it for that reason. I still listen to it now, and I still have a smile on my face when it's done. So, oh man, yeah. There's Moving in Stereo. Almost had all mixed up thrown in there. I guess my cheat move didn't work, but Moving in Stereo.
I didn't have space. I didn't have the space for it.
I did a little cheat on this one, boys. I had all Moving in Stereo and all mixed up, kind of combined, saying, okay, I cheated, but I'm putting that on my own list. But if you get the idea. So, but there you go. Once again, the Cars. One of my more underrated Who songs, man. Sister Disco. Fantastic tune. I love this song. Just outside my top 10, man. Could have cracked it if I just switched things around, but showing the love of the top 10 that I have there now. So great song from the Who again.
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, your number 12 certainly makes me think of Red Bikinis for some reason. I'm not
I wonder,
entirely sure why.
Phoebe
Why?
Cates lives, baby. Phoebe Cates. I like seeing Life's Been Good in there too, because His Maserati did 185. He lost his license, and now he don't
Now I
drive.
don't drive.
Yeah.
Cool lyric, and living, the lifestyle of that time, which is cool.
Oh yeah.
Straight On by Heart is a great one off the Dog and Butterfly album, I believe. So it's good stuff.
Thank you.
All right, let's go to Randy Nelson with his top 10. Boom. Here we go.
Boom.
Got.
Well, at 10, I've got Lawyers, Guns, and Money, Warren Zevon. He seemed to champion the renegade. Need lawyers, guns, and money to get me out of this. My number 9, I've got Driver's Seat Here by Sniffing the Tears. I
There
think
you
it may
go.
be my favorite one-hit wonder of all time, probably.
Wow. Good
Wow.
one.
My number 8, Sultans of Swing. Brian mentioned this, Dire Straits. Just you got that really recognizable Mark Knopfler guitar work, especially at the end of the tune.
Mm-hmm.
And Doc will be happy I got.
Uh-oh.
He would have been had you got it out of here. Anyway,
I swear to God, I'm still happy, Randy.
he said he'll be back.
Okay, and like I said, Doc will be happy that I have Running with the Devil, Van Halen Here, great opener for the album, Down and Dirty Rocker.
Yep.
Number 6, I've got Racing in the Street, Bruce Springsteen, great ballad, kind of escape from freedom through racing in your car, leaving the world behind. And I think a lot of people are big with Pump It Up, which Brian was, but I think actually Pump It Up was the song he was supposed to play on Saturday Night Live.
Right.
And he played Radio instead, which is actually my favorite from this album.
Right.
That's where I have it here. And then he got banned. My number 4, I got Who Are You Here? Kind of like, it was one of those songs like Walk on the Wild Side, where you go, did they really say that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
You
right.
hear it on this song. They kind of got away with it on a lot of radio stations.
He
Sure
did.
did.
My 3, I got Beast of Burden, which Brian had mentioned, just a great sauntering track, slow burning torch ballad. 2, I've got Werewolves of London, kind of a noir werewolf tale. And my number 1 is Badlands, Bruce Springsteen. I just think about this in concert where everyone would be punching their fists in the air when they went to the chorus, Badlands. And
Yep.
so that's going to be my number 1.
Great.
Very nice.
Yeah,
Great.
sure did.
Love it.
Got a couple matches there for sure.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, 4.
Driver's Seat made a second appearance, which is really an upset,
Yeah.
but a great song. The rest of them, you can't argue with them in my book. Let's go to the 11 through 20.
Right on.
All right, my number 20, Wavelength, Van Morrison. Just a great love song where he goes from this falsetto to this gruff bluesy voice. My number 19 is A Rock and Roll Fantasy by the Kinks, where Ray kind of laments about whether he should be still playing rock and roll as he's getting older. He wrote this, I guess, right after he learned that Elvis had passed away. 18, Bruised Orange, Chain of Sorrow from John Prine. Fine title track off what is probably my favorite John Prine album.
Wow.
All right. Number 17, I got another Van Halen song here. Ain't Talking About Love, a kind of
Right.
iconic riff, and one of their most played songs in concert, from what I understand. Number 16, I got Promised Land from Bruce Springsteen, kind of an homage to Chuck Berry, who had a title of his song was Promised Land, although they were quite different. 15, I've got Roxanne from The Police. First song I remember hearing by them, and I just love the way Sting drew out Roxanne.
Mm-hmm.
Number 14, I have Life's Been Good, Joe Walsh, kind of unique commentary on rock stardom.
Mm-hmm.
13, I've also got Because of the Night, Patti Smith, Rich's favorite artist, Patti Smith here. Song started by Springsteen and the lyrics finished by Patti Smith. 12, I've got the Cars song, Just What I Needed Here. This great infectious tune. You can almost pick any song off that album. And number 11, probably this is a song maybe a lot of people don't know. It's Dreamer by Steve Young. He's the guy that wrote Seven Bridges Road that the Eagles covered, Lonesome, Ornery, and Mean that Waylon Jennings covered. But I saw him in a small place in concert, and he was taking requests, and I yelled for this song, and he played it. So it's always going to be one of my favorites.
Right on.
Very
There you
cool.
go. The power of the people.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Very cool. Great.
I like a
love
little
it.
bit
I
of
love that.
variety here.
That
I've got
kid-
some songs that I got to go back and listen to now. I got to listen to that Dreamer, and I got to listen to Bruised Orange.
Yeah, I like that Kinks song, Rock and Roll Fantasy. That's a good one. And believe it or not, as much as I don't like Patti Smith's catalog, I love that song because the night, of course, the Springsteen authorship helps a lot. So let's go to my list, top 10, run it through quickly. May or may not be some Springsteen in there.
Yeah.
Let's check it out. Number 10, I had Running with the Devil too. I mean,
Right
you can't deny that album, that it's just a rock staple at this point in their debut. I just think it's an excellent song. Renegade by Styx, that's made a couple of lists so far. It's on mine too, on
Right
the
on.
Pieces of Eight album, I believe. Then you've got Because the Night, Patti Smith, just a fantastic rendition of that Springsteen tune. Prove It All Night, off of Darkness on the Edge of Town album, makes the cut at number 7. I've got Listen to Her Heart, which is sort of a jangle pop kind of Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers song off the second album. Then the top 5, you got Who Are You? Again, still played today all the time, and it's one of their best songs, I think, especially post Quadrophenia songs later in the 70s. It's a great song. Promised Land is number 4, followed by Badlands. That's a double duo of Bruce, in case you didn't notice. Number 2, I've got Beast of Burden. Great runner-up tune. And I put Sultans of Swing at number 1. The Mark Knopfler guitar work is just through the roof on that song. And if, like Brian said, if you don't know that signature guitar, you're missing out, because you can hear him play anything and you know it's Mark Knopfler, period.
Right.
True.
My runners up, again, laden with favorites here. We've got Werewolves of London at number 20. Lawyers, Guns, and Money at 19. Back-to-back Warren. We only had to pick one Warren Zevon. I went with Lawyers, Guns, and Money as my favorite, and then the wild card right behind it with Werewolves of London. Doc had this Straight On from Heart. I think it's one of their great songs. Roxanne by the Police. First time I heard the Police also was this song. Back-to-back Springsteens here with Racing in the Street, which Randy had. Title track of Darkness on the Edge of Town, which is just a slow, brooding kind of mood song. And then the Cars, I had to represent that great album with Bye Bye Love, My Best Friend's Girl, and Just What I Needed.
So basically, side one of the Cars.
I mean, it's new wave, but it's power pop too. It really is fantastic. And my number 11 is one that nobody had, but I've always liked this song, and that's Jerry Rafferty's Baker Street. Great saxophone in there as well. Jerry Rafferty, of course, from Steelers Wheel, and good solo album, City to City. So that rounds out the top 20.
There we go.
Well, there you go. I think you could have used just a little bit more Bruce Springsteen.
I tried, believe me. I think from 21 to 50, there might be some more in there.
The rest of the album.
The rest of it. No, I tried hard not to oversaturate it, but it was difficult. All right, so now we're going to go to the big list here and see what everybody had. All right, let's take a look at the consensus. And we have a real close horse race here with Sultans of Swing beating Beast of Burden by 2 points. Very cool.
Oh, yeah, it is 42.
That was a horse race. If Doc had given Beast of Burden maybe a 21 or something, it might have tied it or won it. But that 42 sticks out like a sore thumb. But anyway, folks, we got Running with the Devil in the 3rd place. And then Bruce Springsteen's Badlands. Werewolves of London rounds out the top 5. Who Are You at 6? Renegade, all the big songs we mentioned, Because the Night, then The Cars, and Joe Walsh. That's your top 10 for 1978.
Very good. Yeah.
Pretty friggin' solid, man. Pretty solid. As we go down the list, just like we like to see what sticks out that didn't even get mentioned. You got Earth, Wind, and Fire, Roxanne, Miss You, Heart of Glass, Little Seeger. Sniffing the Tears did well to finish 17th. They had a 4 and a 9, 2 top 10s. Cool.
Yeah.
Go Randy.
Yeah. Go Brian.
How about Baker Street getting 4 votes? But I was the only one that really ranked them high.
Yeah,
Everybody else-
I like the song,
Yeah.
but it's just
Yeah,
that year,
see.
yeah.
There's Surrender by Cheap Trick, did well. Still the same. Prove It All Night. I Want to Be Sedated. Promised Land. All these songs racing this. There's Follow Me, Follow You.
Again, the Cars and Bruce Springsteen were basically competing against themselves.
Yeah.
That's part of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 3 of us had Ain't Talking About Love, which is maybe the second best song on that album. You don't know. Hot Blooded did well. What else? One Way or Another by Blondie had 3 of us rank it somewhere on the list. Moving in Stereo. Jamie's Crying. Take Me to the River by the Talking Heads had 3 votes, but down further.
Yeah.
Did well. I was the only one that gave it the old thumbs down. I do like the song. It just didn't make my top 50. There's Hold the Line by Toto. Woo! Represent.
No.
There's some more Seeger, Feel Like a Number. Journey, Lights. Wheel in the Sky. They had a couple tunes. There's Shattered, Doc. I had it at 44. You had it at 28.
Yep.
Promises by Eric Clapton, a softer kind of ditty. Who Do You Love by Thorogood.
All right. You voted for Johnny Strikes Up the Band.
I like Johnny Strikes Up the Band, man. I really do. And I also like Excitable Boy.
So nice. Just the 2 of us.
Yep. That's a great album. For What a Fool Believes, I went with the Doobies. Doc and I had them in the 40s.
Yep.
There's another Springsteen song that the Pointer Brothers did it, Fire. There's Randy's song, Dreamer. Sister Disco. There's Stardust. What else we have? There's the classic. How do you pronounce that? La Via
Strangiato.
Okay, Down the Waterline. So It Goes. Nick Lowe. Randy had that one. Eruption, another Van Halen song from Doc. Good one.
For sure.
Controllable. Devo had some representation. Brian put him at 24. Very cool. This might be the best song title of the year. Christmas Card from a Hooker in Minneapolis by Tom Waits.
Got to be Randy.
It was. I like the song FM by Steely Dan. They had that on
I like that song.
the soundtrack.
That was on the soundtrack only, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's La Freak by Chic. All you dance bands.
I had to put it. I had it on the 8-track.
Yeah.
I got 2 Minnesota songs on there because I actually have Sabu Visits of Twin Cities alone.
That's pretty good. Blue Collar Man, another great Stick song I had to throw in there.
Yeah, great too.
I like this Going Down to Laurel by Steve Forbert. I'm probably the only fan of Steve Forbert, but I like him.
No, I'm a fan.
Okay.
I just didn't pick it.
Count on Me by the Starship. Late in their career, there's Till It Shines, another Seeger. Hot Child in the City. That was played all over the radio. Doc had it on his list.
Sure did.
Hot Child in the City, and then Time for Me to Fly by REO Speedwagon. Hey, I'm glad to see the Blues Brothers version of Soul Man made it too, Doc. Good job.
Thank you.
Al Stewart, and then Devo's version of I Can't Get No Satisfaction rounds out our list. We had 104 songs this time around, and this time I think Brian had the most solos. Was it 19? I can't
17.
remember. 17.
Yeah.
17 solos. So awesome job, guys. Awesome.
Yeah, it was fun.
This is
Very cool.
always fun to look back at these different years. 1978. Anybody out there want to add their 2 cents? What we missed, what we overpraised? We like to take negative and positive feedback. It helps our algorithm. Anyway, we'll take the hardball questions or the praise, whatever you want to throw at us. If you haven't seen our other videos from 65 through 77, They'll be in the description below. Hit the link, go back and check them out. We would appreciate that. Stay tuned for 1979 coming your way next time we meet. So for Randy and Brian and Doc, this is Rich. Thanks for watching. Take care, and we'll see you next time. Bye.